Can you think of the first time you disobeyed orders?
Captain, to hell with our orders.
No? How about just not doing what someone else tells you to do?
Whatever, I'll do what I want.
Now what if I told you that the only reason Florida became part of the United States was because someone disobeyed their orders? Welcome to US History with Mr. Rowe, and today we're going to be learning about the Florida Annexation. The year was 1819, and James Monroe was just elected President of the United States.
Bruh.
And after Jefferson's Louisiana Purchase, the United States kind of looked like this. But Mr. Rowe, like, why did the United States even want Florida in the first place? Great question. Well, basically the United States wanted Florida for two reasons. First, they wanted it for national security. Now that France was no longer on the western border, President Monroe only had to worry about Britain in the north and Spain in the south. If Spain was taken out of the picture, Monroe thought the country would be a lot safer. Second, the United States wanted Florida because Southern slave owners were like super upset. To understand why Southern slave owners were so upset, we have to talk about Spain. And they were going through some stuff. Spain was at war with Napoleon, one of the best generals in all of history. So they had to withdraw a lot of their soldiers from all their colonies to help defend against France. This meant that Spanish colonies around the world now needed to run themselves.
Wait a tick. That means I'm single again!
Yeah, so some Spanish colonies, like Mexico and all of South America, took this opportunity to have their own revolutions and declare independence. Other colonies, like Florida, just had problems keeping it together.
I've got to get out of here. Down, get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get out.
So why were Southern slave owners so upset? Let's go to the map. Basically, Native Americans like the Seminole would cross the border into Georgia, raid plantations, and then retreat back to Florida where they couldn't be followed. Also, slaves would escape to Florida for freedom, where their Southern slave owners couldn't hunt them down. Since most of their soldiers were busy with Napoleon, Florida couldn't do anything about it. And this really ticked off Southern slave owners. So much so that they demanded that President Monroe do something about it. Monroe decided he would send a new hotshot general from the War of 1812 to take care of things. His name was Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, AKA Sharp Knife, AKA Old Hickory, AKA...
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Yeah, so this hot-headed general was the kind of guy that would duel you for talking smack, the kind of guy that would beat you with a cane, the kind of guy that liked playing cards and drinking whiskey, the kind of guy that took 2 bullets to the chest, survived, never got them removed, and had lead poisoning for the rest of his life. The kind of guy that doesn't follow orders.
I am a machine.
So when Monroe told Jackson to defend the border but not enter Florida, Jackson was basically AKA he totally ignored his orders. First, he went into Florida and killed any Seminole he could find. Then, he killed 2 British citizens because he thought they were helping the Seminole. And then, he punishes Spain by attacking all of their forts and replacing the Spanish governor with an American governor. When the word got back to President Monroe about what Jackson had done, he was all like,
No! God, please, no! No!
yeah, Monroe was freaked out. He knew that Spain would be super upset. And yeah, Spain was Monroe's cabinet of advisors told Monroe, look, we gotta apologize to Spain now. And we gotta punish this Jackson guy so like Spain doesn't declare war on us. But then there was John Quincy Adams. John Quincy Adams, son of John Adams, disagreed with the whole cabinet. Instead, he saw what Jackson had done as an opportunity. He thought that Spain was bluffing about going to war over Florida because they were still busy recovering from Napoleon. So he told Monroe, like, hey, what if instead of apologizing, we like threaten Spain? Bruh. And Monroe's whole cabinet was like, but Monroe actually agreed with him. He thought that Florida wasn't that valuable to Spain anyway. So if he could show that the United States was willing to go to war for Florida, maybe, just maybe, they would be willing to make a deal for it instead. And that's exactly what happened. Since Spain wasn't actually willing to declare war to protect swampy, alligatory, clubby Florida, they agreed to sell Florida to the United States for just $5 million. And yeah, that's pretty much how the United States annexed Florida. What? You're still here? You wanna know, like, why this was significant? Okay, awesome critical thinkers, I'll tell you. Okay, annexing Florida was like kind of a big deal. This was the first time the United States threatened a major European power because they wanted to expand during Manifest Destiny. More importantly, since this threat worked, the United States started down a path where they're not just gonna acquire land peacefully like the Louisiana Purchase, but they're gonna do it by threatening people and eventually going to war to increase the size of the United States. Well, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Press subscribe, like, or share with